We are at Pendeley Environmental Office, an Australian marine and conservation consultancy. Dr. Pendeley is the chief scientist and the owner. She has a special interest in artificial light pollution, and she tries to make people aware of the risk for human health. We knew intrusive lighting like blue light could be a nuisance for health. Why this is an alarming fact and a major public health concern?
The major public health concerns are around the relationship between exposure to light at night and things like obesity and sleeplessness and cancer, things like that. So LEDs are used by people all the time. They're cheap. They're cheap to run, easy to use, but they're also shockingly bad for humans. They're very elevated in short wavelength blue light, and it's a short wavelength blue light that has the biggest impact on humans, because the light coming through your bedroom window from those street lights will affect you. Even if your eyes are closed, if that blue light is coming into your bedroom, it's penetrating your eyelids and it's affecting your melatonin system. It's driving that melatonin levels down, and so it can lead to all of these other health issues. The link between being exposed to artificial light at night and these health issues is caused by the effect of the light on the human melatonin system. So at night when we go to bed, as it gets darker outside, the levels of melatonin in our bodies increase, and that's what causes us to go to sleep. But if those levels, if we're exposed to light, that melatonin isn't released, and so we don't get sleepy anymore. And if you don't get sleepy, your other hormonal systems in your body are disrupted as well. And that's what can cause things like heart disease and diabetes and cancers. And there's a link between the level or the risk of breast cancer and prostate cancer in night shift workers. So things like nurses have been shown to have an increased risk of developing breast cancer if they've done a lot of years of night shift work.
There aren't any standards for human health about artificial light. So do you think there needs to be standards?
Yeah, definitely. The only standards we have for artificial light in Australia are produced by the Institute of Illuminating Engineers, and they provide standards for things like street lighting, emergency access, internal lighting inside buildings, things like that, and intrusive lighting. But there's no standard anywhere in Australia, or in fact anywhere in the world, that talks about the health effects of artificial light. And it's a huge gap. And it's all come about because we don't know that much about it. It's an emerging field. It was only, as recently as 2006 when global experts came together to talk about the effects of artificial light on humans and to recognise it as an area that is high risk and that needs to be researched further. So it's only recently that scientists have actually started to understand how artificial light at night affects the human body.
You hosted a seminar for members of Perth Local Government Association. You spoke about the latest technology and techniques to measure light and manage harmful light. Is the government aware of that issue?
No, and that's what we found when we did this workshop. We had, I think, 18 local councils were represented, the environmental health officers from all these local councils, and it was really to educate them about the effects of artificial light on humans, how to measure it, and how to manage it. And the feedback was amazing, that people were fascinated. They had these, officers had no idea how bad artificial light could be for humans. And they're not alone. It's such a new area that most people are not aware of the impacts of artificial light at night. And what it needs is things like lighting ordinances. We need to draft up regulations or local standards that can start to control this artificial light at night, because there's nothing in place at the moment. In the same way that smoking was. So in the early days, people weren't aware of how bad smoking was for us, and then it took a long time to educate people about it and to teach them that, there are problems around it. And that's where we are with this issue with artificial light. We think in the next 20, 30 years, it will become well recognised and people will understand it.
How can we live with blue light? What precaution we can take?
Manage your lights. If you've got lights outside, control them. Direct them onto what you want to be, illuminating. If it's your footpath or your deck, you put shields around it and you direct it so it's not escaping into the atmosphere. You're not wasting light. The other thing you can do is with your iPhone or your mobile phones or your tablets, computers, things like that, you can download an app. It's a blue light filter application that will let you switch off the blue light coming from that screen. And so, at night when you want to go to sleep, you switch this on and it reduces the blue light that's coming out of the screen, and so it's not disrupting your brain waves and disrupting your melatonin system. So in places like Japan, children are required to wear orange filtered glasses when they're working on computers to filter out that blue light so it doesn't damage their eyes.
This is Laura Bayumi for Undercurrent.